Hello and welcome to my channel. Bonjour et bienvenue sur ma chaîne. My name is Muriel and in this video I basically wanted to do a little rundown of the books I've read so far this year, especially the books I want to do reviews about for this channel. So it's more or less in chronological order. I'll only be mentioning the novels and non-fiction books I've read. So first we have two rereads. We have Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. Oh yeah, I won't be showing the covers now, because then I'd have to take them out of their appointed slots in my library, and I really don't feel like doing that right now, sorry. So Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. We have Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Then we have a first-time read, 1984 by George Orwell. I read the first three books in Robin Hobb's The Realm of the Elderlings series. I went into this not realizing that there were 15 books in this series. I was not prepared for that because I quite enjoyed the first trilogy, and then I was like, oh shit, there are more of these? Am I going to read them? Am I not going to read them? To me, this is a huge dilemma because I have a thing about not investing myself into another huge series like A Song of Ice and Fire. So yeah, but those were good. I enjoyed them. Then we have another reread, The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. Another reread, The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. Then we have the Ring trilogy, and I read Unfinished Tales. Then I read this summer Circe by Madeline Miller. It was good, but a bit disappointing if I'm honest. I'm a huge mythology buff, and so I had high hopes for this novel, and they weren't quite met. I read Fire and Blood by J.R.R. Martin. Got my little Song of Ice and Fire fix there. And last month, in September, I reread The Handmaid's Tale, which will be my first review for this channel. Then the long-awaited sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, The Testaments. And the past 2 weeks, I read The Wind's 12 Quarters and The Compass Rose by Ursula K. Le Guin. Now, technically speaking, The Wind's 12 Quarters was a reread for me, but previously I had another edition, which only had that short story collection, but then I realized that Science Fiction Masterworks had come out with this version, which also includes the short story collection The Compass Rose, which I'd never read before. And I was like, ooh, Ursula K. Le Guin fiction I haven't read before, sign me up. And speaking of, another one I hadn't read before was this one, Always Coming Home, which is, shall we say, experimental? It's not really a novel. It's not non-fiction either. I mean, it's fiction, but it's quite strange. I mean, there's poetry in there, there's elements of plays. There is like a main storyline that kind of holds it all together. And then there are lots of notes about customs, flora, fauna. I really liked it, actually. I thought it was quite beautiful, but definitely different. And then on to non-fiction. So I invested in 3 items from the Vintage Feminist Classics collection, some of which aren't actually complete texts. So there was A Vindication of the Rights of Woman by Mary Wollstonecraft. I don't think that was a complete text. I had The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. And I should say, I basically violated one of my sacred rules with regards to reading in my native languages, i.e. never read something in your native language in another language. So yeah, shame on me there. But it was a nifty way of getting some of it, because I mean the original Le Deuxième Sexe is like 700 pages and it's fairly autobiographical, I think, and I'm not too keen on that. There was also The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf. I think that was the complete text. Now, a book I really loved this year, The Chalice and the Blade by Ryan Eisler. That was a great book. And there was a book in French called L'adolescence n'existe pas. Translated, that means adolescence doesn't exist. It basically looks at the sociological origins of adolescence/teenagehood. But yeah, it was really disappointing. It wasn't well written. The structure was a mess. Yeah, major letdown. And last month, in September, I read this, which is basically a reference book, so I won't be reviewing this, but basically, it was good. I've had better. I felt it spent too many pages on Greco-Roman mythology, which I'm already quite familiar with, and for a book that's supposed to concern itself with world mythology, I thought it wasn't really fair in its distribution of material. Like, the section on Celtic mythology was poor. There was next to nothing about, Eastern European mythology. I mean, the section on the Americas, even Africa, could have honestly been bigger, so that was a bit of a letdown. But otherwise, it's a full-color book, stuff like that. It's informative, it's a nice format. So, I mean, not a bad reference book as far as reference books go. So, I just wanted to give you a preview, shall we say, of what's to come. In the meantime, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.